Hello, everyone. Hope all is doing well. The answer to all your problems, I promise, is hard work. So today was a flip-flop day. I thought that I'd be driving 45 minutes away, almost an hour away, to work on doing framing for a cover over a concrete slab so that the dogs could have their pen and it could be protected from the weather and so on and so forth. But we made arrangements to do so. So I said, I'm going to call this guy first and see if he still wants us to come out there. So I called, no answer. Of course, I'm like, I'm not going anywhere until I hear from him. He texts back, says, "Oh, I'm not gonna do any work this week. I'm gonna go I'm deer hunting." So totally changes the 3 days that I had planned. That he said he wanted me to help him. He just changed it on a drop of a dime, and that's okay. That's his life, and that's kind of what you have to deal with in a repair business. So then I went ahead and did some things here that I've been delaying, and not very long, but some, and got that accomplished. And then I went on to call them up a little ways away, called a place called Eureka Springs, and said, "Hey, we've got a cancellation on schedule. Do you guys still want me to come over there and take a look?" And they said, "Yeah, right away." So we went on over there, 26 miles of really curvy road, stop and go, really slow curves. But that's kind of typical. If you're going over that direction, you have to go through those kind of curves. But I've been over that road. The truck almost knows its way back over. Went over there. Supposedly, a building inspector, which was hired by the possible buyers of this apartment complex, they were supposed to, and you're going to see this kind of typical, if they did the inspection on Friday, they were supposed to have by Monday a copy of all the things that they felt like needed to be fixed, which would affect the price. Sometimes you just negotiate down on the price because this or that needs to be fixed. We'll just subtract that from the total value if the owner agrees to drop his price for those repairs. Anyway, they didn't do that. They did not give the things that are required to be fixed. They did not on Monday, not on Tuesday. And today is Wednesday. They didn't have it even then. So 3 days later, you're still herding cats. I said, look, one of the things they said was they had water leaks in building C and building D. I said, where at? Well, let me ask the realtor. So the realtor knows more than the people who actually own the property and have some list. They say, oh, it's right over a B. So is that one? Oh, okay, well, I'll just do it. And there's a place where the beams have settled and they're gonna have to call somebody out to jack it up. And can you take a look at that? So I went under there. There is no water leak. There was a water leak, but there is no water leak. No active water leaks. Looked over. Did find a dead cat. There's no way for that cat to get in there unless somebody put it in there, and it just starved.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so we took care of the dead cat, and they decided that they didn't want anybody to be able to go underneath the house for any reason, since they have evidence of somebody going on. So we today we put in these slide latches that have a lock, and we put the locks in and drilled out the holes. But while we were underneath the building, we came across these concrete blocks that looked like somebody hammered a hammer through them. It ended up being 23 holes, but it was just a bunch of holes in random places, way back in the corner from where the door was. And kind of find out is where mice were chewing through concrete blocks.
That's impressive.
Okay, so I talked to the owner and said, "Look, this is this is what you have. This is pictures of it." And he said, "Can you fix that?" I can fix it. Well, just do it, because I don't want to. They didn't say anything about that, but I don't want to hear about it, and I don't want it to be there. So we've spent the day fixing those doors, moving the cat, repairing some discolored flooring that where a leak used to be, and we put what we could to make it look right. It's very supportive. And then we filled the blocks up where the holes were, and there'll be a video coming out with some insulation where the holes were big, but some spray foam that actually is it has the ability to repel pests like mice.
That's kind of cool.
It's different. So we did that and let it dry. While we were letting it dry, we did all the doors and made those where you can't get underneath there without having a key to the lock. And then went back in there and put mortar over all of those holes, so it looks like what it should be. You use mortar to put the blocks in. It's not wouldn't be a very unusual thing to see mortar smeared on the block underneath the building. So the superhuman mice, they can pretty much choose wherever they want to go through. They don't have to go through the old home. Obviously, they picked more than one apartment inside those blocks. 23 holes we filled up, and they can pretty much do that again if they want. So they're gonna do what they can to stop that. Seemed like there was something else we did, but so we went from going to the west an hour to going to the east 30 minutes. And then instead of framing up a roof, we went to fixing blocks that had been chewed by mice. That gives you an idea of how this business is even after 31 years. And a lot of times, people say, well, you should specialize. Just pick something that really makes you a lot of profit and just do that. Perhaps that would be good for somebody, but not for me, because it would mean a lot of downtime, both when I started and pretty much whenever, all the small items get into everybody's budget. So like Christmas or taxes around April 15th, the people who have money are paying taxes.
Okay, keep going.
So it wasn't on?
No, it was on. It just didn't sound good.
Oh.
Keep going.
So, but, and people who have money are spending it on their Christmas, and they're paying taxes. Both. So about 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after Christmas and tax time, that absorbs a lot of extra money. So I'm saying that has always been the case. That's never going to change. So if you are doing just one thing, you would be affected by that. Personally, I felt more comfort in the fact that I do a wide range of things to begin with, and then I'm always willing to learn how to accomplish other things. So whenever somebody says, I think you should try to focus on one thing and do really, really well at it, that's not a bad choice, but it's not been my experience that as a repairman, you're going to stay as busy, both when you start and when you get years into it. You're not going to stay as busy as if you do more things and learn more things. And by the way, you're going to be more mentally challenged if you are learning all the time. So it wouldn't be as boring a business if you didn't do the same thing all the time. Wouldn't dealing with only a certain few people. So those are things that are part of this business. And so I thought I would talk about, and it probably will take multiple shows, but if you want to do this business, what is it going to be like to start?
What the hell?
Yeah, that gimbal stopped.
I'm not.
So the gimbal's not charged.
It was charged.
So the only thing that stays the same is everything changes. Does that make sense? And we're learning how to deal with a gimbal that's supposedly locked in and not automatic. The light is flashing red.
Yes, I am aware. Okay. What is this stupid thing doing? Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. Why is it? I don't know what it's flashing for. Okay.
Maybe I'll look that up.
Yeah. Maybe we should just switch it over to there.
That looks like it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Why did I turn red?
there are lots and lots of people out there trying to tell you how you can make a living and trying to sell you courses, teaching you how to do it. I think everybody's circumstance is different. And of course, that's true. But if you burn the bridges so you can't go back to your old job, you will find yourself struggling to make things happen. And that's part of life, the struggle. I agree that that is the case. But are you really ready to lose the job you have so that you can be a repairman? I suggest that you keep the job you have until such time as your repair business can actually support you. You're like, oh, well, if I spent more time doing it, it would support me. Not necessarily. So when I say that, it is not from pessimism. I'm as much an optimist as anybody you'll ever meet. It is more about being practical, pragmatic, if you will. So your ideas to start with are, any business is optimism. Uh, what is it? Mr. Alex Hormozy said it's uninformed optimism turns into informed criticism.
Oh, the stages of.
So you're all informed. You think that you got enough optimism to overcome any kind of obstacle. That is not true.
Unconscious incompetence.
So you're willing to be optimistic is a good thing. It's always a good thing to control the mood that you're in. But let's try to concentrate on doing your regular job and building up to getting work. And it can be simple things. It does not have to be skilled. Like, for instance, if you go to a real estate company and say, hey, look, I'd like to do any of the manual labor that you need, like clean outs. So you're going to end up making a list of things that you think you could do for a real estate company. And so they might need somebody to mow the grass. Most likely they've found somebody already, but maybe they need somebody else. Um, they might need somebody to clean the house. They might know somebody that's moving and they need help moving their furniture slash moving boxes. And then those people move into a home wherever it is, and they need to change that home to where they can make it their way. Their furniture will have to be put together, their pictures will have to be hung on the wall. Those are things you can do. And they'll hire you by the hour to do it. Now, if you don't have much skill nor much experience, you certainly shouldn't be charging outrageous sums. Although you are available, that does not mean you should take advantage. So that is a beginning. That's just a scenario that I told you. Uh, a lot of times, general contractors are looking for somebody to come back and fix certain things, but you might consider to be a punch out man. That usually requires a little bit of skill in painting and trim and things like that. Um, so that would take tools that you might not have when you first start, but it is something that you could talk to them about. Said, look, I want to break into this. This is the time that I have when I'm at my regular job. I have these many hours, and then I want to make myself available for construction, cleanup, whatever, to help you out and help this company stay solvent. I would work to take care of that, and that's not an unreasonable thing. But it's about your presentation. So whenever you go to present yourself, which is a sales pitch, dress professional as you can. Do not show up in shorts or pajamas, with Crocs or slippers. Don't wear a white beater t-shirt that's dirty. You are presenting yourself. When you're asking a customer, can I help you? And even though all I have is my own personal strength and my willingness, you need to look like you really care about yourself and the customer that you're working with. If that makes any sense. So, I personally, years ago, used to buy uh, uniform pants, like khaki pants, not so much the dark blue pants, but the light tan pants and shirts. And I thought that would be pretty cool. But it usually means that you're working for somebody else. And you're working for that person, but you are usually not the business owner that dresses that way. I know you might have some disagreement with it, but if you're the business owner, you should never be wearing shorts, okay? I don't care how successful somebody is and they wear shorts. I'm telling you, you do not want to wear shorts. You do not want to wear slippers or Crocs. You want to look like you're prepared to pour concrete, drag things around, get on your knees and work on things. You don't want to look like you just got out of your house to go get some pizza. You want to look like you have a profession. Even if you don't, you want to look as though I'm ready to place a profession in my mind and my hands. I'm going to make myself learn these things. You don't do that wearing shorts. That does not present yourself as somebody who's capable. So if you're broke down on the side of the road, some person walking around with shorts on doesn't come across as being in charge. And that's why I'm telling you there's a way to dress. So that tan khaki pants and shirts, they were cheap because I can get them for I think as little as 25 cents if I bought a bunch of them, and I did. but I paid like usually around $1 for the shirt and $1 for the pants. Crazy. I could just stain them all I wanted. It didn't matter. It didn't cost much. So I imagine you might still be able to find those uniform pants and shirts uh, pretty cheap if you know where to look. They have some flaw somewhere, and they decide to, we're just going to get rid of these. And so I did that for a while. But I personally think you need to think about a polo shirt. And this is my experience, and I have a lot of experience just in this area alone, 31 years of working with people. I will give you a for instance. Whenever I go to Lowe's and I start looking around, people will walk up to me and say, "Excuse me, sir, do you work here?" Well, I don't have a Lowe's vest on, but they just assume that I'm in charge. And that's what you want. You want to look knowledgeable, you want to look skillful, you want to look capable of doing anything that's needed. You are there to accomplish the things that they don't want to do or can't do. Does not require tools at this part. Does this make sense? Again, do you want to wear flip flops? No, that does not look professional at all. Everybody knows you're going to stub your toe, cut your feet, whatever on a regular construction site. If you're crawling underneath the house, they're going to come off of your feet. If you're up in the attic, they're going to fall off your feet. And it looks like somebody lazy went into the, you know, went straight to the house to the grocery store without. And I see these people all the time at grocery stores wearing pajama pants and slippers. That you do not want to look like those people. That's not what you want to do. You want to look like I am capable of doing whatever you assign me to do. I will let you know if I don't think I'm capable. So you want them to think you are capable by how you dress. Okay? Not outlandish. Uh, I have some outlandish clothing, but I do not wear it to work. I wear it to a place called You Name It Collectibles. I have uh, a pimp hat that's
You
black.
have several pants. You have a pink with leopard
Right.
print.
I have smoking jackets. I'm not going to wear those to go to work at somebody's house or to introduce myself for a free estimate. That's not what I'm wearing. Okay.
Even if we go on a day out with us, you still dress down, even if we're spending a day together. You
Yeah.
don't dress anything like when we're going out.
No. And again, that is not for me to feel uh, like I'm better than somebody else. It is for me to make them feel comfortable and think of me as capable. And now, when I'm with her, it's a little different. I never want to be an embarrassment to her. She says I can't be. Well, it doesn't matter. I still don't want to be. Don't want to take the chance. I don't want to make anybody think, why is that woman with that silly looking dude?
Because she loves him.
Yeah. So
I got on to you about that, in fact.
early on, I wore a lot of boots. There's nothing wrong with that. Boots tend to pick up mud and carry it into houses. So you may find yourself finding ways to cover those, but they make flexible booties that you can pull over so you don't stain their white carpet. And believe me, I have worked on many a house where the carpet would easily be stained by the wet dirt outside. Even some oil that was dropped by their own car in the driveway, and I walk in there. Yeah, I believe me, it's been done. So you don't want to show up, and we've not talked anything about skills. We've not talked anything about tools. Okay, I'm telling you how you look.
How you present yourself.
Now, can you overcome having a lot of tattoos? yes, you can overcome it. But you notice I say you're overcoming it is what you're having to do. It is more acceptable now than it ever has been.
Way more.
But that does not change the fact that it is an obstacle that you now have to present yourself. So when you're talking to them, your posture is important. So this crossing of the arms like this is a defensive gesture. It means I'm concerned about what you're thinking of me, and I am going to defend myself against what you might be aggressive about. So I'm locked in. I'm not changing my mind. I'm defending myself. Put your hands in your pockets. That means you're insecure about your position with this person or the situation. In my case, sometimes I put my hands in my pockets because I don't like my hands cold. But if you're slouching when you're presenting yourself to these people, again, you're not showing them that you're fully alert and ready to go, right? And by the way, you need to be clean. Is that something you need to do to be able to dig a ditch? No, but it means that you went to the time to have clean clothes and clean hands so that you can do the best job and the most skilled job for them, that you actually care about what you look like. That would mean you would try to keep the growth on your face down, keep it smoother. Showing professionalism it's exceptionally important. There is no exception to this. It doesn't mean that when you become more successful, you can do whatever thing you want to do and overcome it. You can, but why are you overcoming things when you can actually just do it properly, act properly, and present yourself as somebody who's professional? So maybe you might have to wear a longer sleeve shirt. You certainly are not going to wear a sleeveless shirt. You're certainly not going to wear shorts. And there's somebody out there that if he watches, he's going to know I'm talking to him. He wears sloppy shorts. He wears a sloppy t-shirt, and he's got a lot of tattoos, and he's got a lot of hair on his face. No matter what you do, no matter how acceptable it is, the more hair you have on your face, the less attractive or slash the less trusted you are. It's a subconscious thing. So if you have a big old beard that's not maintained, you already are going through an obstacle with because it's you got hair and that's an unconscious thing. They think, well, I don't know what's behind that, and then you don't maintain it. Yeah, she gets fussing at me about that, and I don't really care that it makes a bump. What I'm trying to tell you is you have to understand what it's like to be them and what that person needs to look like for them to feel confident in you. And same thing with when you go to the job, are you late? So when you say a certain time, as a repairman, there are a lot of times when I can't be on time. Guess what I do? I let them know. I'm not going to be able to be on time. This is what I got going on. I apologize. How much does it cost to apologize, by the way? It doesn't cost you anything. So, understand those people and their feelings and then respond properly. Do not act unprofessional. Do not wear baggy t shirts. Do not wear baggy shorts. Do not wear dirty clothes. Okay? I have jeans that have. Yeah, we're going to get to that. I have jeans that are stained from paint, caulking, grease, all different kinds, tar, all kinds of things on my pants. But I generally keep my shirts. This is what you see in this video, is not got any stains on it. And this shirt does not cost me anything. It's like less than $5 at a thrift store, or even less at a garage sale. I have maybe 100 of these, short sleeve and long sleeve.
Mhm.
So there's no real cost. You do not need to buy them new, because if you do and then you get paint on it, you've shed a tear for a $50 shirt. But you can get stuff this is high dollar. This is high dollar. I didn't pay high dollar for it, but I went to the trouble to shop for it, to get what I think is a professional look. Now, what I do is not necessarily what you need to do, but you need to understand what it takes to look like somebody who is trustworthy, who is confident competent and confident in what they do. You need to look that way. Dressing in your pajama bottoms or dirty clothes, dirty shirt, dirty fingernails and hands. Now, I can show up on a job with dirty fingernails and they know I came from another job. Sorry, ma'am, this is the way I look right now, but I was just over underneath the house fixing that's why I have cobwebs all over I've tried to knock them all off. This is what I'm looking at. But I do try to remain as clean as possible without being obsessive about it, so that I can instill confidence in these people, so that they might not know me. They're going to let some guy that does not look like he's professional and has got dirty clothes on. I'm going to let him in my house where all my valuables are. I got to keep my eye on him all the time because I don't have any confidence in him. So, are you starting to see what I'm talking about? Does it mean that you need to have the best looking stuff? Absolutely not. I'm telling you, it does not require. You're going to hear this theme over and over and over again. It does not require you have brand new stuff. It does not. Okay? You can get name brand stuff, high dollar stuff for virtually 2 or 3% of, maybe even 1% of what that actual cost is. But you got to shop for it. You got to spend some time. Early on, your time is not worth as much. When you get older and you got more experience, your time is worth quite a bit. So now's the time to go and stop and take a look at a Goodwill and get something that looks professional, like the guy who's in charge. Perhaps a shirt with a pocket on it. How hard is that to do? If you have some question as to whether or not you look better with it, get a shirt that is like a dirty t-shirt, put it on, and then put on a polo shirt or a single pocket shirt.
Maybe take a picture and
look at it. Yeah, taking a picture wouldn't be a bad idea.
Take a selfie.
Just keep looking at it, because I'm promising you're going to find there are certain colors that you look better in. Guess what colors you should be buying? You say, hey, I look good in that. Guess what? That gives you some confidence too. And if you have confidence, they go, oh, well, this guy's coming across like he really knows what he's doing. He seems capable. Are we starting to get a theme here? So this is before we even begin to talk about skills or tools, vehicles, all that stuff.
And God forbid, don't go and run off and try to incorporate.
Yes. So all these guys are talking about starting LLCs.
Don't.
There's no need. There absolutely is no need. So, I, at one point, was incorporated. Imagine this thing. I will first thing that comes to my mind is the name of my company was Straight Arrow Construction Incorporated. Imagine writing that out. It's like that long. Straight Arrow Construction Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It did not impress anybody. If I'm just one guy, it did not impress them. Why would I need to be incorporated in one or two guys?
And it requires so much paperwork.
If you mess up on that paperwork, you got a problem. They're going to shut you down. You no longer have a functioning corporation. You actually have
Taxes,
fines.
the taxes
You
involved.
got to file that paperwork on time or it's defunct. So, no, you do not need an LLC. LLC is meant to protect you from being sued and to keep you protecting your property. So if you get wealthy enough that you own a rental property and the renter hurts himself and he goes to sue you, the the property is in an LLC and they can't get to the property or you. They have to hire a lawyer to press on through all that. It can still get to you even though you have an LLC. It just provides protection. So when you're in a business that is repairing things, and we're starting off small, we're going to talk about right now what you need to do in order to be a repairman. And I'm talking about you do not need to spend a lot of money. What I want you to do is concentrate first on getting your network of people that you can deal with. Say somebody has a storage rental. I used to clean out storage rentals and they would pay me to do it because they didn't want all those mattresses. They didn't want to have to haul that off. Now they're selling all that stuff on an auction site and people pay for it and they still have to haul it. Guess what? You could be working for those people. I will help you clean out the storage rental if you know somebody is doing it. I will help you, whatever. So I used to go to those storage rental places and offer my services whenever I had time to do it. I used to knock on doors at mobile home parks and let them know that I can do a lot of different repairs. You can knock on doors in your neighborhood and hey, I want to let you know that I'm sort of a handyman. I'm working on getting better and better at it. And if you ever need any help, I'm your guy. I'm ready to help. Again, how you dress represents who you are. You are giving a sales pitch without ever saying a word by how you dress. Okay? So your clothing, if it gets a hole in your knees or your pants, get rid of them. Because you don't want to look like you can't afford clothing. Even though it sometimes gets tight enough that you think you might not be able to afford clothing, you need to get rid of your clothing and you need to wash your clothing regularly. Even when it's got stains on it, it'll look clean if it is clean. This is
Cup full of Odoban.
Yeah, Odoban does help.
One capful in each laundry, and it helps get rid of all the odors and from the oils and things like that.
Right. And anything if you're doing like greasy things, anything that's oil based stain, oil based products, loosening it up. So, but every time you get in the shower, you get a hot shower, you can rub most all of those things out of your hands that are stained into your skin, usually pretty easily. Now, there's an exception, like what I have right there, spray foam. I got on my fingers and my hand. That's going to take a while to get, but it will come off in the shower whenever I take a shower. Um, what I'm trying to say is concentrate first on what you look like. You do not have to have a business at this point. We have not talked about getting a business name, have we? You're just representing yourself, and you're saying, I have very few skills or very or no skills, and I'm willing to learn. That is the first thing. You can practice that if you want to. He will give you confidence if you do. Practice what you want to say, what you want to accomplish. You can record it on your phone, by the way, and listen to it, what you sound like, so that other people know what you sound like. You can look in the mirror and record on in the mirror and take a look at yourself. Get used to saying specific phrases so that it's a part of your presentation. So that it becomes natural to you. What you know is what you actually do. So you're dressing decent, your attitude is right, you're prepared to say what it is you do and what you want to accomplish for them. You see what I'm saying? And you're clean, you're trying to look presentable, you've actually taken time to show respect to them by how you dress. That's what I'm wanting to leave with you.
Sorry, I just missed one. Are mobile or modular homes worth it to fix up or worth the investment? Yes.
Okay. So are you asking as an individual or are you asking as a business? Either one is yes, but they have different answers. As an individual, what I hear is a lot of people say that mobile homes are poor investment. It's just not true. So it is a lower side investment, but there are literally business plans and businesses that set out and just start buying up mobile homes and moving it into a mobile home park. Let me give you, for instance, the common cost for a apartment, say like a 2 bedroom apartment, is $110,000 a unit.
Wow.
Okay, 110,000, and to get that $110,000, they have to have a piece of property to build it on. But let's just say that's part of the cost. So they're gonna rent it, say for in this area 1,400, 1,200, 1,400 be more like it. It'll have amenities, but it's because they have 100 apartments, then they can afford to put those amenities in. So, what do you think a mobile home on a mobile home lot is going to cost? Well, I can tell you because I'm the guy who fixes them that, and I get paid to fix them, and I know what the budget is. Pretty consistently, you spend about $10,000-$15,000 on and make a single wide mobile home look spotless on the inside. If it needs a lot of work on the outside, you can spend another $5, $6, $7,000. But now you're at 20 grand plus the cost of the home. There's a little more expense. Let's say you're going to have that is generally a 3 bedroom home that we're talking about. So we're going to end up with a higher price comparison, but let's just say it's a 2 bedroom mobile home and you spend 15 grand on it. And that's not you doing the work, you paid somebody to do it. Now, what do you think that mobile home will rent for? It typically will rent for every bit as much as that apartment. Why? Because you're not fighting for a parking place, first of all. You literally don't have somebody right on the other side of the wall banging on it where you hear their TV, you hear their stereo, you hear them fighting. You don't hear the staircase, people walking up the staircase. Believe me, I used to live in apartments. I know what it is like. That mobile home is worth more because you don't have all that. Now, that mobile home, you might not own the lot. You may be having to put it on a mobile home lot, which they're getting kind of scarce. But now we're talking, let's say you paid 10,000 for it, you spent 10,000 on it. You're at 20 grand. and then you have to pay 400, 500, let's say 500 for a mobile home lot. Can you rent it? Yes, you can rent it. What would you rent it for? Well, if you're paying the mobile home lot as the owner, you're going to pay that 500, and they're going to turn the water on in their name. They're going to turn the electricity on in their name, the cable and all that. So you don't have that expense. You just have the lot rent. You can rent that. We compared it to 1,400 for a 2 bedroom. If it's a 2 bedroom mobile home, I promise you can get 1,200. Now you have 500 uh, for the lot rent. So let's take that out of that 1,200. That leaves you with $700. You're getting $700 a month for your mobile home that you spent 20 grand on. The apartment complex is getting 1,400 for $110,000 expense.
Is it better to get the inside all at once or do room by room?
Depends on how much money you have. If you're going to rent it, yes, it's go ahead and go all the way through it. If you've got the money to do it, just go ahead and go all the way through it. Because you can move things from one room to the other, paint, whatever. You can literally accomplish by painting the whole house first. So it's a top down thing, which is a management phrase, but it's a top down thing. You're going to clean everything at the top, cobwebs, everything down from the ceiling down. And then you're going to paint everything from the ceiling down, the walls. Then you're going to do the flooring. Then you're going to put in trim. In a mobile home, they have virtually no trim. They do that in order to keep the costs down. You're going to do floor covering. So you're not going to want to put the floor covering and then have to cover the floor covering. Same with the trim. You're not going to want to put the trim in and have to cover the trim when you paint the walls. If, you know, there's some floor repair that you'll have to do. There's some doors you'll have to replace. There's hinges you'll have to change. There is sometimes cabinet tops that you have to change, but it's going to average somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 if you hire somebody. That's my goal. Now, I've done it so many times. I know those numbers by heart. And I usually do 3 bedroom homes, and it's generally that same number. I would always go all the way through the house before I bring in somebody and have to work around their furniture, or doing it a room at a time. If you're painting the whole house, you don't change what you're doing. You don't lay down your tools and then step over them or have to put them away so they're not in the way. You just paint the whole house all the way through it. Paint the whole ceiling, paint all the walls. You set out and you accomplish it. Finish each layer. There may be a point where you say, you know what? We're not going to be able to build a brand new deck on this thing. We're going to have to stay with the old deck. That's where your budget comes in. So whenever you ask me, now, if you're trying to live in it and fix it up, that's a different game. Yes, you would do a room at a time. You know, you can go through and paint the whole house, but that's really difficult because you got all that furniture to protect, all that carpet, all that floor covering. So I suggest you start from one room if you're living in it, and do the whole house if you're going to rent it. You're going to have to hire somebody. And of course, you save a lot of money if you do the work yourself. You save a lot of money. But, I'm not a true representation of what prices are. So I want to be cautious and let you know the prices that I spit out sometimes are what I do, but that is not what other people do. They charge way more.
Way,
And it's
way.
totally unreasonable. But I understand they got to pay for their new car and their rental or their house payment. I understand. I just don't have the same requirements that they do. And I survive really bad times better than most people that are higher priced than me. So when you ask me, I told you if you're living in it, it's better to do it one room at a time. If you're purchasing it to rent it, it's better to go through the whole house and do everything, all the thing, all the way through. Hopefully that answered your question. And I'm glad you asked the question because that's really what this time is for. I think I'm gonna kind of knock off early today. 45 minutes is what I'm gonna stay at.
You're at 50.
Right. I'm gonna not go a full hour. But what I want to focus on next time is things that are beyond how you look. Like how clean you are, how clean shaven you are. It does. You can't. It's not saying that you can't have a beard. I'm just saying it needs to be maintained. Your fingernails need to be maintained. So you are helping them maintain their life. You should be well maintained yourself. So I'm going to talk about basic vehicles and things like that to start with, and some more things next week. And hopefully, I'm not boring you, but if you ever have questions like this question was, I'm telling you, I've had plenty of practice. I'm through practicing. I can tell you what I know. And Dave Ramsey does not know what he's talking about when it comes to mobile homes. He does not know. I promise you, there's tons of profit.
Oh, yeah.
Even reselling. Dave Ramsey does not know.
If you want to invest in a mobile home park, those are well worth.
Yeah, it's
major profit.
It's a lot of profit. Lot of profit. There are lots of people now that are just all they're doing is. I know of one group that bought a mobile home park thinking they could just fill it up with other people. They had a little issues with that. A lot of problems that come with individuals, that not necessarily comply to their rules. But what they end up doing was starting their own mobile home manufacturing business and moving it into their own park and basically making their own apartment complex, but a higher price than they have brand new houses. They own the lots, so their cost per lot. Let's say it's 50,000, and then they built the house themselves to say it's 40,000, 50,000. They're at 100,000, but I promise you they're going to get every bit as much as that
Right.
apartment complex.
Well, in the Bentonville area, the average rent for a 3-bedroom apartment, house, whatever, is $1,700.
In Colorado, 30, 40 miles outside of Denver, they're getting $2,000 a month for a single wide ramshackle home.
Got another question. I have a modular home with a 4-foot tub that needs replacing. Do they make a one-piece enclosed 4-foot tub and shower?
Yes, they do, but it's hard to get in. You have to go through the wall. So what you want is a 2 or a 3-piece. That would be the bottom tub. And that is a 54-inch tub. You say 4 foot?
He said 4 foot.
It's a 54, or it's shorter than a contemporary tub, which is 60 inches. So you have to get for that size. Now, does that mean you're forced into it? No, you can literally change the wall.
We do that. We've got videos on that.
You can move the wall so that you can get a 60-inch tub in. But you're not going to want a one piece in unless you're prepared to go through the outside wall and then rebuild the outside wall, which I've done. But you can get a 3-piece. I think Home Depot has one. It's a tub and 2 pieces behind. And there are multiple other brands out there that you can get the tub and then the fiberglass sides separate. That way you can get through the hallway and through the doorways. You're not going to be able to do that with one piece. You're not going to be able to bend it in through the doorway from the hallway. You'll have to go through the outside wall. Can you do it? Yes, you can. And I've taken the walls apart and put them back together in less than a day. It's not an impossible thing, but it is work. So that's a good question.
Yeah, 54-inch.
54. So you usually have to order that. It's not something they keep in stock. Typical tub is 60. Okay. So you have to order it. It is available online, particularly, but you're not wanting a one piece. You're wanting a two or a three piece. The top that goes around the tub is going to be in pieces.
That way you can cut it.
That way you can get it in. I hope that is a good answer. I know there's more to it, and you're always welcome to ask more questions, and I've got videos to match it. But I promise you, you can get a one piece in, but it is a journey to go through the wall because there will be electrical to deal with, and there will be framing that you have to support. But you can do it. It's been done several times.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I'm going to be on TikTok tomorrow night at 10 p.m.
Same handle, Straight Arrow Repair.
Yep, and it's all Central Time. So be aware you can ask me questions at any point. This is me trying to make some time to answer these questions. I have no problem with the questions. I'm really pleased to get any question and share with you what I've known because I'm 64. I have no intention of retiring, but I know that one day I'll have to. And I would like to share it. I don't want to just die with this information. I want to help my fellow man get out there and make things happen. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys later next Wednesday, maybe if it's on YouTube. Tomorrow, Thursday, on TikTok.
He does this off the cut. So each one is different.
Every one of them's different. I don't have a script.